You bought those blue light filtering glasses, you turned on night mode, and you're still finding that you're lying awake at midnight, then this video is for you. In today's video, I'm going to explain to you why the story that you're being sold is mostly wrong about blue light being a problem, the fix that really doesn't work, because there's not a product out there that can fix the real culprit behind the low quality sleep, the restless nights. Why am I throwing and skewing my circadian rhythm and up at late at night, bypassing a critical time window when you do the most cleansing and healing for your brain? And remember, if your brain is not doing these processes to heal, to cleanse, it opens the door to a myriad of health problems. And remember, the number one secret to longevity is brain health. And you find a lot of influencers, so-called influencers, don't know much about the neuroscience, including the so-called father of biohacking, that are selling this fix because people are fixating on a part that really isn't the culprit that's wrecking your sleep. So the real damage is really not the blue light, as we're going to examine in today's video. All right. So I want you to stay tuned. It's very important. It really will give you clues onto how you can protect the night so that you can actually sleep better. So as usual, if you can, if you find value in this video, give it a like, share it with somebody you think may benefit, and subscribe. We put out one video a week, really helping you in the digital age. All right, with backed by neuroscience. All right, so let me show you in this video what the science actually says. So, and this actually is a somewhat recent study. So, again, blue light causes problems. I've done videos on this before. So maybe in a sense, I'm also a culprit of this. So, but what screens are really doing to wreck your sleep is not really due to blue light, as we're going to examine today. So, the story here that I've talked about in other videos is when you wake up, what's supposed to happen? You're supposed to be outside and get that blue skyline. That blue light that we're often disconnected from is supposed to sync me in with natural rhythms, to tell me it's daytime, to turn on serotonin. As the day wears on, the sun starts to set. That skyline is going to change from yellow, orange to red. That color of longer wavelength is telling my nervous system something else. It starts to turn on relaxation mode. It starts to increase the production of melatonin from serotonin. It's like a switch, a chemical switch that switches you from daytime, chemically speaking, over to nighttime. Blue light does suppress melatonin. And so the idea is if I'm exposed to blue light all the time in front of screens at nighttime, I'm suppressing the very thing that will help me to sleep. So I buy glasses, I turn on night mode, and I filter out all of this. I try my best. I change the light bulbs in an effort to sleep better. So this is partly true, as I've mentioned. Evening light can start to shift the circadian timing. So in a sense, if I am in front of a big screen and that blue light is hitting my eye, what that can start doing over time is starts to skew me over to bypass that critical time window that I've talked about in other videos of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., where a lot of the magic, the healing, the cleansing happens. Your brain needs that. And the more I bypass 25% of that, 50% of that, all of it, etc., it starts to add up over time. And it's one of the reasons I keep telling people in many videos that our habits in the digital age are going to open the door to a catastrophic rise in early onset dementia, Alzheimer's disease, cognitive decline, a lot of brain health issues. So I'm not saying that light doesn't do anything, but if blue light were the main culprit, the fix that is built around it should work. And the question you have to ask yourself, does it really? So the evidence shows something quite different. So blue light probably makes little to no difference in sleep quality. It may be skewing your sleep, causing you to eat at a chunk of that important time window, but the evidence for sleep benefit with regards to blue light was really inconsistent, inconclusive. The flagship fix was there for a reason, because it's easy for somebody to get in front of a screen and peddle something and tell you, wear this, it helps. People will also say, I should say on a side note here, that oftentimes when I'm seated, my computer right now is about 2 feet away. I'm training my vision to always see things far away. I'm not grabbing something and looking at it up close. And what that causes is causes a deterioration in the neuromuscular system in your eye. If I don't train it, I say this all the time in Zen Brain Academy, train the brain, train the nervous system. Don't train just the habits, train the system. And there are exercises that I teach, yogic exercises that you teach to train your eyes so that you can keep looking up close and you can still see. We develop really poor habits. We're constantly locked in. Our eyes start to dry up. We're pushing beyond, and we develop really poor habits that also strain and deteriorate our eyes and weaken those neuromuscular system in our eyes that then when we try to focus up close, we can't. So people try to peddle, including that same David Asprey, where he will peddle the eyeglasses saying, oh, these also help to keep your vision, this and that. But at the end of the day, the evidence really doesn't support that. So you have to really make sure that you go beyond what the so-called influencers out there are telling you and you base it on real hard evidence. Okay. So that's what we often do in this channel is I will break down recent cutting edge evidence so that you are up to date. And like I said, I've done videos as well talking about blue light. I do teach a course on how to get in sync with natural rhythms. This blue light, red, orange, nighttime kind of dynamic where we're out of sync with nature. We're in a box often, and our nervous system really isn't getting the right cues. It doesn't know what time it is. So if I'm in front of blue screens, I'm rarely outdoors. I have an erratic eating schedule. I'm busy, grinding, doing. I'm aroused all the time in terms of activating, as you'll see, my stress pathways. It creates a huge problem, as I discussed in a podcast that I recorded yesterday with the American Institute of Stress. So there were 17 trials done, and this is not something insignificant. It's 17 trials in this review. The real driver is arousal. You're not staring at a blank blue panel. That iPad or that computer or that TV or iPhone are you're consuming something. Scrolling outrage. I'm raging about something. Somebody posted something controversial, politically, whatever, and I'm against it, and I'm getting all riled up, and I'm in the chat typing stuff away, or I'm watching a tense movie. I'm doom scrolling at night. There's a work email. I'm just going at it. I'm arguing in the comments, whatever it may be that I'm doing. It is really activating my cognition. It's getting my arousal network systems. At the end of the day, it's all about chemistry, neurochemistry. And that neurochemistry is the real sleep killer. What am I doing pre-sleep? What is my ritual? And the more aroused I am, the longer it is going to take for me to fall asleep. And when I say aroused, I don't mean like sexually aroused. I mean aroused neurochemically. There's an arousal system that gets activated. When I wake up, I'm groggy. I need to be aroused chemically so that I can start to engage the outer world. If I'm doing this type of arousal at night, I'm going to have more fragmented sleep, lighter sleep, harder for me to fall asleep. If I play video games leading up to sleep, it's going to be really difficult for me to fall asleep. You know, I remember when I was younger, I stopped doing this, and it's not about age, what I'm going to describe. It's really about the habit. I broke this habit. I had a friend, we both liked video games, and then all of a sudden, he would call me at 9 p.m. and we play Left 4 Dead. If you've ever played this game, it's zombies, it's shooting, and they come out of nowhere, and it's very high tense. It really gets you so riled up that the moment that you go to sleep, you just can't. I would be tossing, turning. It would take me well over an hour to fall asleep. It would really make my sleep really poor. So what you do at night matters more than whatever color you're getting through those eyes. So this is the cortisol mechanism. Again, a lot of times what we do is we're really good at sending energy to the stress side. Remember, you need stress. Stress allows you to wake up in the morning to get stuff done, but you need to do it in balance so that you turn on and turn off. You turn on the accelerator and then you press the brake. You can't be going, going, going. If the night ends and you've been going, 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 stimulating, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to turn off because you haven't trained the system to send energy over to the parasympathetic, the side that's going to allow you to relax and let go. So, what am I doing pre bedtime? Arousing content, the brain is going to treat it as something that it needs to be on alert on. Flashing lights is like lightning in nature. If you're giving yourself the right stimuli, you're watching an action flick and there's fire and explosions, guess what that's telling your nervous system through your senses? That it needs to be on alert, that there's something wrong, that you need to turn on stress. And then cortisol gets released. Your chemistry is starting to be manipulated in ways that you're not aware of, and you're telling your nervous system, it's not bedtime. I need to be alert. And so cortisol is going to raise alertness. You're also suppressing melatonin because that cortisol can also do this. That state of alertness is going to be like, hey, it's not time for bed. Shut down that melatonin. Let's start suppressing it. And that same hormone that everybody's blaming blue light as the culprit is really something else. It's what we're doing in front of the screen. These dark or nighttime glasses cannot stop this because it's not stopping the behavior, which is what you're doing. The content reaches your melatonin through a more powerful pathway than the light does. The light is more relevant when it comes to the circadian rhythm to tune your nervous system as to what time of day it is. If I'm indoors a lot, as I mentioned earlier, I'm in front of screens, I'm not sending the right cues. Right now, I'm indoors. I'm getting very little indirect sunlight from my right side. And therefore, it's almost like being in a cave with very little light. My nervous system starts to get confused. So let's be precise. This is not blue light is a myth. It's more useful than that. Blue light does suppress melatonin. Dimming the light at night is still something you want to do. You still want to do a lot of the things that I teach in Zen Brain Academy. So, but however, it's being oversold. I don't do videos selling some glasses because it's really not a reliable fix, and research supports that, as we explained today. The real lever is arousal from content spikes that are turning your nervous system on, are sending the wrong cues. That it's not time to shut down, it's time to be on alert. No product can fix that. So it's not a wavelength issue. It's what you're doing with those screens that is ramping up your nervous system. So here's a 3-layer fix. And this is in order of like power. The biggest lever is absolutely free for you. The last hour, you want no news, no work email, no outrage, no tense stuff. Do something relaxing. If you're going to watch something, have your blue light filter and glasses on if you want, but have something that's a little bit more chill, that's not keeping you juiced up. A really good show late at night that's keeping you active and has some action, or maybe people like a killer that's popping out of nowhere and you're kind of jumping in your bed. That's not ideal. Content matters more than the medium. That's key. Layer 2, wind down ramp. I say this, have a bedtime ritual. 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, low arousal input. Read something chill that you don't have to think, maybe some fiction, some gentle music, a warm shower. Why warm shower? Because it's going to lower your body's production of heat. You can lower the temperature setting as well, maybe by 2 degrees or so. Slow your breathing. Maybe do some mindfulness of breathing on the side of your bed, like cortisol fall. Dim the lights. Use night mode. Warm light tones, not really kind of bright white lights that are more like daytime. The smallest lever, not the biggest. You can work with this, figure out what works for you. A calm audio book could be key. Put on some headphones, noise canceling, just lie there. Put some binaural beats or some natural sounds. That audiobook, rather than looking at a screen, could actually be a good antidote because you're not in front of a screen rage baiting through glasses that really, at the end of the day, the glasses are not going to filter out the content. You are. So the reframe here is blue light is real, but it's oversold. The glasses are not a reliable fix. Arousal is the main culprit. Change what you're doing at night, especially the last hour. I said this yesterday in the American Institute of Stress podcast. Protect the bookends, the beginning of the day and the end of the day. That's when your brain is most vulnerable. So if you want help, join Zen Brain Academy for free. We're migrating soon, but the link zenbrain.academy will still persist. We will be getting a Founders 100 for our AI app, heyzenith.ai, coming soon. It's unlike anything that's ever been done before, powered by over 3 decades of IP, most of which I've never released to the public. If you want my free book, Inside Out Calm, join my newsletter. You can also get at zenbrain.academy along with my other book, The Art of Stress-Free Living. I'm also, working on another book, which is called right now tentatively is called The Digital Age Dilemma, where I'm going to do a deep dive into the digital age and all the problems that exist, which is the reason why I created Zen Brain Academy, because I saw a problem arise in these brain health, mental health issues, and I wanted to create something that could be a refuge for people to go to, a sort of place where you could have access to top level information from a Yale trained neuroscientist as myself, could have an access to a guru of sorts, a coach of sorts that really is giving you the information that AI can give you because AI won't have the IP. I won't make it available. And we continue to grow. We grow with the science, we grow with the times to keep updating everything that we do. I don't sell and peddle things. I'm very selective with partnerships as well as I will be always being rooted in the truth and in evidence as much as we always can, of course. So check out zenbrain.academy, join the newsletters in the description below if you made it this far. I hope you have a beautiful week. I'll see you next week. Take care. Stay zen.